Hi, is it me? Or do you ever just notice that sometimes in our lives we get into this place of discomfort and discontent? And it's almost like as if life is like shoving us, it's like pushing us to move into a different direction, to get out of this rut that we've been living in. I would love to say that we just magically, just like, oh, I'm going to change my life today effortlessly and easily. But sometimes we have to encounter these breakdowns. Sometimes we have to encounter these challenges, these obstacles that arise that force us to go in a different direction that we would have never gone in if it wasn't for that particular situation. So I recall really just fighting this whole thing about, doing music. I remember I was doing this performance and some guy came up to me afterwards and said, Mark, you need to shut up more and play more. And I'm like, what? I was offended because this was back when I still wanted to become this motivational speaker dude and stuff. And I'm like, what? You know, and so I kept on trying to do that, kept on trying to do that, kept on trying to do these golf events, and using golf as a cool metaphor for our personal life development. Meanwhile, the music kept calling, and I fought it and I struggled, and that golf thing totally bombed. I mean, it just wasn't going anywhere. Things weren't moving. And it wasn't until I surrendered to that music. It wasn't until I realized this is part of who and what I am. And even though I might have had my reservations at that particular time about expressing myself musically, I realized that life had created a circumstance where I was struggling, man. Wasn't making enough money to pay the bills, and as a father with two children and a husband, and it created a tremendous amount of drama and upheaval within my own emotions, talks about self-worth and those different things. But I realized in that dark night of the soul that life was pushing me into a different direction. And so when I finally surrendered to those nudges, shall we say, more like shoves, but nudges, and I finally surrendered to the music. And miraculously around that time, up comes this beautiful interview opportunity with Healing with the Masters. Totally transformed my financial picture, totally transformed how I was able to impact people's lives. So I share that because I want you to take a look at your own experience. Where is life giving you the nudges to go in a different direction? Where are you struggling? Where are you in a rut? It's only sometimes when we have these deep feelings of uncomfortable feelings, this like where we're down in this place and we realize, well, there's got to be something more. Ask yourself the question, if you're experiencing this, what is this trying to move me into? It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're like not good enough or deserving of the blessings of life or any of the stories that we create when those circumstances arise. But what it is doing is pushing you in a different direction. It's urging you to unfold in a whole nother level. So take a look at your experience and ask yourself, where am I feeling uncomfortable? Where am I feeling unhappy? Where am I feeling unfulfilled? And just open up to the possibility. For it's in these moments when we're propelled by discomfort that we're likely to step out of our ruts and move into a different direction. So just feel the feeling. Deep inhale, open mouth, let it go. If it wasn't for that experience, if I wasn't pushed, shoved, nudged, however I decide to define it. I would have never stepped into my musical gift. I would have never discovered my ability to harmonize disharmonious energy. I would have never discovered all these things that I've learned over those 15 years since that experience of surrendering to the gift that's within me and releasing and dissipating my resistance, my inability. But it wasn't until life got so hard, that situations became so challenging, that I was able to move in a different direction. And as soon as I did, there was like this huge shift that took place. And the same thing that can happen for you if you have a place in your life where you're experiencing that discomfort, that discontent, and realize, is it pushing me in a different direction? And what would open up for me if I was to move in this different direction? So, something to contemplate. And I invite you to make sure that you go for the full musical piece to support you in letting go and opening up to this next phase and moving out of this perhaps maybe rut that you've been into and stepping into the next greater and grander expression of who and what you are. I invite you to go to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Mark Romero Music and tune in to this musical note. It will dramatically help you in letting go of that resistance to shifting out of the rut perhaps maybe that you're in and moving into a higher level of expansion and expression. I look forward to sharing it with you. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. Have a harmonious day.